This is the Polished Business Podcast, where we discuss everything business, boss, and books. My name is Kimberly Beadle, and I am a registered bass agent here in Australia, a certified bookkeeper, and I have a BA in psychology. And I am absolutely obsessed with supporting businesses and their success. This past weekend, I was in Sydney, lucky enough to be a finalist in the Small Business Champion Awards, and they were held at the Star Casino, their event center. It was a room full of 94 or 96 tables, like the table numbers, and there's 10 people at each table, so there you go. We were at table 16, which was actually really nicely positioned right in the middle of the stage, and I think we were 3 rows back from the front, so it was really nicely positioned, and I had a nice seat where I didn't have to turn. You know, you do your half angle and your back gets all sore because you're there for 4 hours, but anyway, it was a nice spot. Everybody was a winner, and everybody is lovely, and well done for being there, well done for participating. Firstly, let's talk about the Illawarra businesses that were finalists. You guys are wonderful. I know there was 2 nights of awards, but on this night there was Kazar Signs from Unanderra, South Coast Orthodontics from Corrimal, Eve Marie Disability and Mental Health Services Unanderra, BB Disability and Mental Health Services Dapto, Solve Care Wollongong, AJK Events Management Dapto, Oakmont Building Group, Albion Park, Phoenix Law, Wollongong, Pro Cosmetic from Wollongong, and probably others, but those are the ones that I could pick out on the big long list of finalists across all the different categories. I actually went around and tried to say hello to those that were in the room on the night. I know not everybody could make it. The distance to Sydney for us is about an hour and a half drive, and you know, it's in the evening, so you're basically going to have a late night drive home, or you're going to also fork out the cost of a hotel room and everything that comes along with that. So I get it. Time and cost can be pretty tricky to get to some of these awards, but a lot of them were in the room. I tried to say hello to most of them, but some were either not at their tables or the show started and I couldn't get to them. Sorry. JK Events Management were at the table right beside me, table 17. Hey! And that was lovely because we could make eye contact throughout the night. I was able to reach South Coast Orthodontics. Thank you for having a quick chat with me. You guys seemed awesome. And Pro Cosmetic, I found you as well. So firstly with these ones, when I walked up to their table, I was basically a stranger. I had sent out an email really last minute for me. I think it was the day before, saying, hey, are you going to Sydney tomorrow? I saw your name on the list. Completely out of the blue to these businesses. And I had also tagged them in an Instagram post a couple of days earlier. Like, why not? Hey, you know, we're all going to this national awards. We're coming from the same area. It'd be great to have a little bit of camaraderie. Some of them responded that either they weren't able to make it, and some did respond, and we had a quick chat before meeting up there. But, you know, quite a few of these businesses, I walked up to the table and went, hi, are any of you from XYZ business? You are? Hi, I'm from the Illawarra too. And they went, oh, yay! And we had a lovely connection and a chat. Every single business that I did this to, they were so wonderful. Say hello, especially where you're all... A lot of us were complete strangers in that room, I think, across the board. I know a few people knew each other, but it's a national award. There was heaps of people from Melbourne. There's people from Queensland. There's people, I met somebody from Perth. Like, there was lots of people coming from all over the place. And one of the people at my table even recognized a few of the Melbourne businesses because he was from Melbourne, and he ended up getting up and going and chatting with them. And I know that kind of connection really made a difference, just because, you know, you don't know what's going on for these people. You can get through these events 100% by yourself easily. There's so much to see and do and eat and drink and play and have fun. But I think just having that extra connection of somebody willing to just show up and go, hello, I'm from the same place as you. Or something, if you have something in common or any reason really to just walk up to these people at an awards event and introduce yourself. Why not? Why not? Go for it. I 100% recommend. We had such lovely conversations, and then we were scattered throughout the room. There was people in the last row, in the middle, in the front. We were spread out. So, even when our categories popped up, we were all clapping for each other, and it was just a nice extra element to be able to have other people there for you. And I do have to mention that Ave Maria Disability and Mental Health Services Unanderra won their category. I didn't get to say hi to them directly because they weren't yet at their table when I was doing my walk-arounds. But I recognized the name when they won, and I stood up and was clapping away because I'm such a cheerleader. If you need anyone to cheer you on in any sort of event, I'm there for it. I'm absolutely there to cheer anyone on that needs it or doesn't even know that they need it. So well done to them. And they had a bunch of people with them, so that was beautiful to see that they got to have such a special night. Well done. Well done. Now, I also want to talk about Table 16. Hey, Table 16. You guys know where I'm going with this. There was something extra special about this event. Partially because I went alone. My husband and my daughter were actually at a Sydney hotel while I attended the actual event on my own, because it was just easier that way if anybody has a toddler and trying to navigate those things as well as an event that's a bit of a distance away from where your team is. Yeah, it's just easier sometimes to just go alone to these things. And so I did. My husband and my daughter hung out at the hotel, and then we had a beautiful day the next day in Sydney and made a little family weekend out of it. Asking as a business owner. I showed up at this table 16 and I had a look at the name card that they have in the middle of the table, listing off everybody there. And one thing I did notice right away was out of, let me just count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses. 2 of them had a friend with them or a partner or somebody. And then the other 5 were people going solo. So if you're ever considering going to these business awards and you're like, oh, I don't want to go because I'm going to be by myself, it's not uncommon. The vast majority of our table were there independently. We made fast friends. You're all sitting there, you all go around the table and say, hi, what's your business name? What do you do? What category are you in? Okay. And I, being me, got out one of the programs. I began circling all the categories that everyone at our table were in, and I also put a little star beside all the categories that the Illawarra businesses in the room were in. So I knew which categories, I clapped for everybody, of course, across all categories, as you do, respectfully, clap, clap, clap. But I also, I knew that I wanted to pay extra attention to these categories. Now, that in itself is a great way to entertain yourself throughout these events, because that gave me more than half of the events I had somebody to cheer for and to pay attention for. So that made it a bit extra fun. So we had that first chat, of who you are and what you do. But I was looking at my phone and I was going, oh no, the battery on my phone is really low. They actually gave us a wireless charger. For Westpac had one of those glam bot situations, and then they just handed you a wireless charger as well, but there was nothing to plug it into. So, I have a charger, but I don't have any way to charge my phone. Shout out to a particular team member of the events staff that actually later in the evening I gave them my phone and that charger, and they charged it in the back securely for me, which I really appreciate. It's definitely not normal protocol, but I need to be able to call an Uber to get home, and somehow my battery drained suddenly. So that was a situation. But when I first realized it, I was really unhappy because I'll record everybody's acceptance speech and then send them a copy of it Because what if they don't ever get any sort of footage of this ever again? Not just social media, but just for their own records and their own memory of, hey, I did this thing and I won, and there's no record of it. Especially, we've already discussed, you came by yourself. Or even if you came with your team and they're all up on stage with you, who's recording it? Who is gonna, give you that little extra touch? And of course we get the photos before and after, and that's great. But, I've been to enough of these that that's something that's always on my mind, especially if I have a good seat. I like to record their acceptance speeches and then I send it to them. If it's a short one, send it off through Instagram immediately. If it's a longer one, I find their email address and I send it to them. And there's nothing else to it, really. Just send it to them. Sometimes business relationship might kind of grow from there, but not usually. It's just, hey, here you go. I was in a position to help you out, so I did. And that's something I think everybody should do. But I've yet to figure out the clearest way to just sit down at a table and announce to our table, hey, let's help everyone out. Or I thought I didn't know how to have that conversation. I'm always thinking it whenever I sit down at an awards table. I want to say, hey guys, let's be a team. Let's help each other out. Let's record what's going to happen for individual people so they have it. Win or lose, there's definitely something to say about even just having the recording of your category and your name showing up on a big screen in a beautiful setting for 3 seconds. Sometimes 2 seconds, sometimes 1. But having that recorded, and do you want to be sitting there recording it yourself the whole time? Sitting there looking at my phone, and the battery is saying 12%, and I know I've got 4 hours ahead of me. And this was, I went and found that lovely staff member to charge my phone. I still had it. Maybe I can get a couple, or I just have to let it go. But then somebody at our table, firstly, they arrived a little bit late by no fault of their own. They just had sat down and they were there for maybe, 10 to 20 minutes, not very long. And then their category came up and they won. And I absolutely whipped out my phone and started recording their reaction of, we won and we're going up to this stage and isn't this lovely? So that was Jude Digital. Well done. Good job. And I was like, I don't have enough battery. So I just turned to my new friend, but his company was Habitor, and I said, hey, can you record their acceptance speech and then you'll just email it to them after? I know this is totally out of the blue, but I know they'd really appreciate it. And I usually do that, but my battery on my phone isn't working. I'm trying to talk really quickly because they're walking up to the stage. He was like, oh yeah, okay, sure. And he did it, and I was like, yeah, cool, hold your phone that way. Yep, that's great, go. And just start recording now. He was on it. It was so wonderful. And he recorded it, and these guys that won were on the other side of the table from us. And this is a round table, so it's kind of shouting distance to a degree. And I'm sure he wasn't too certain how to be, hello, we haven't even talked, but I have a video of you. So I actually brought it up because, of course, it was my idea. So I'm assuming the responsibility here. I just went, hi, just to let you know, I asked him to record your speech for you, and he's going to email it to you. They were like, oh my God, thank you so much. They were so happy to be told that. So please, I really haven't run into anybody that has said, oh, I wish you hadn't done that, and I don't want you to send that to me. Who's going to say that? It's extra content. It's footage. Even if you never use it for anything, why not have it? I love that their reaction kind of reaffirmed that this was a positive thing. I turned to my other buddies who we had kind of started talking to on our side of the table. They had all kind of noticed that I had that program and I was circling everybody, and they were looking over my shoulder, be like, what category is coming up next that we should cheer for? So they were getting the vibe of like, yeah, let's pay attention. Let's really try to support each other. So I went, okay, guys, look, this is what's up. My phone battery is dead. If you guys want to be like Team Table 16, this is what I suggest. You're in prime location to record the category going through all of the finalists when they announce the category. You up for that? Cool. Love it. you point your camera at whoever is in that category, and your job is reactions. So you're just going to start recording and get them reacting. And then you're going to record, if they go up there and have a speech, you're going to record it. So there's purpose to this. One, angles make sense of where they were sitting and the angles that would be best. Two, you don't want really long video files because they're hard to send. You'll end up having to chop them, and then that takes a whole other effort. So let's make this as easy as possible. By splitting it up, we now have 1 to 2 minute video links for everybody. The one that goes through the categories and announces the name, that one's 30 seconds. It's just easier to send. As well, it makes a little bit more team camaraderie going. So for the rest of the night, that's what we did. And my phone was kind of out of commission and I couldn't participate. I ended up being a ringleader and using the program, saying, "We're up, one more category and it's on him. Everybody go." and we were all laughing and, keeping it light and fun. Definitely not intense or anything. We were having fun with it. We were like, "Okay, you ready?" "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it." "Okay." No one else at our table, spoiler, no one else at our table ended up winning their category. But you know what they did get? Every single person at our table got a recording of them sitting there listening to their name being called out on a big screen with the beautiful setting of this gorgeous room behind them. Everybody got an additional recording of their name being put up on the big screen and going through the categories that were there. And they didn't have to be sitting there recording it themselves so that they could get that first imagery. That alone is really convenient to have. Again, just for memories, as well as your social media content or your website content or anything that you might want to put together in the future. Without further ado, we need to have a shout out to the legends of Table 16 in no particular order. Well, this is actually the order that they were on our cue card. AP Web Solutions, Apex Health Professionals, AF Events, Habitor, Jude Digital, Trevanta, and United Carriers APAC. I have an extra mention too that one of the businesses, it was Apex. So she had to leave at 8:30 and her category hadn't been called yet. A good 45 minutes to an hour after she left that they called her category and she just couldn't stay any longer. And we said, "No worries, we got you. Is there anything you want to say up on that stage?" "Nope, cool. We'll accept it for you." And then we did. I don't know if they would have let us, but we were gonna do it. "I'll do the talking, you guys just stand behind me. I got this." We're gonna go up and say, Apex Health Professionals had to leave, but we just wanted to mention on their behalf that they are passionate about what they do. This is a well-deserved award, and they absolutely appreciate the small business champions for supporting them with this award. And thank you to the judges, thank you to their clients, thank you to their team, and thank you to Apex for doing what you do, because we absolutely need your business and more businesses like you. That works for every single acceptance speech there is. Feel free to steal it. And so we were ready, and she gave me her card, and I'll mail you the trophy. So we were ready to go. And I was also going to use it as an avenue to say, and by the way, this is what it looks like for small business, supporting small business. These guys had to go, but we made fast friends in this wonderful opportunity of an evening that we have, and have all been supporting each other all night. If you guys haven't chatted to those at your table, I highly recommend you do so. We're all in this together. Good luck to everyone. Have a great evening. Just, put it out there, diffuse any tensions or nervousness that might still be in that room for people that don't know if they should chat with the people at their table or not. Talk with them. You're all there experiencing the same situation. If you think I sound pretty passionate about this, I am. Because I see businesses go through a lot every day. And they don't get a lot of credit for the work they do, business owners especially. And no one knows what's going on behind the scenes. So when you have the opportunity of these business awards and you end up being a finalist and you get to go to these events, that alone, well done, pat on the back, enjoy yourself, have a good night. Chat with the people at your table, not when someone is on stage talking, please. Be polite. No talking when someone else is talking on stage, because oh my gosh, can you hear the people in the audience talking when you're on stage trying to do your acceptance speech? And especially if there's 1,000 people in the room and 100 of them, you want to go whisper, 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 whisper to one another. It adds up. The decibels add up, and it's really not good. So don't talk while other people are on stage, please, but chat with the people at your table. Be a team. I am so pleased that we had table 16, and everyone that I met that night, I am looking forward to staying in touch with you. So well done. Well done. And well done to everybody that was in the room. And the final thing I will mention, which is kind of a tie-in to, as I mentioned, about going to these events solo. Before I even walked into the room, there was a bit of a line to take photos beside this digital screen that had the Small Business Champion Awards on this big thing. And we were all trying to take photos behind it, but the lighting was horrible in that hallway, so we really didn't need to. But anyway, there was a woman in front of me who turned around and said, "Oh, are you by yourself? I'll take a photo of you if you'd like." That's usually what I say to people. So that was so nice that she said that to me first. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then I kind of took in my surroundings better and realized that the group of people in front of her were not with her. They were starting to move along and she was up for them. "I'll take your photo," because I thought she was with them. Anyway, she wasn't. She was on her own. Neha from Nextist, she was so kind and so lovely. And we took photos of each other, and then we walked into the foyer kind of mingling space together. And we ended up chatting through like the more professional photos that they do. And we took photos of each other there. She was onto it. She's like, "Hey, give me your phone. I'll take photos of you getting photographed." I'm like, "That's great. That's exactly what you do. Thank you." It was great to see someone else had the same mentality as myself. Let's support each other. So wonderful. And then we continued on to the Glambot from Westpac, and we kind of support each other there. And then it was time to walk in. Yes, we were there independently, but we had somebody to talk to very easily for that entire time. And I could see around the room, plenty of people were experiencing the same. If you are ever at these events on your own, please don't hesitate to just walk up to somebody that you think looks kind-ish, or you like their dress, you like their suit, or you have something you can say to as an opener, and just start talking and see if it turns into, "Hey, let's just chat." And everybody there has the same nerves, has the same uncertainty, has gone through the same process applying to these awards. And this is whether or not you're at a business awards that has 50 people in the room or 200 people in the room or 1,000 people in the room. It's the same thing. There will be people there who it's their first awards. There will be people there who it is their 50th awards they've been to. But everyone will be there unsure if they're going to win. And they're there hoping they're going to have at least a nice night in some form. You might as well have a chat. Use it as an opportunity to network. I made 20 new connections at this event. It was a good experience, and I have no regrets about participating in it. I just really want to advocate that it's worth going to these. Yes, I've won some of these business awards, but I've lost several. But I've always come out of these events with something. Not just like, not that I deserve to come out with something, but coming out with a positive experience of connecting genuinely and naturally with others who are obviously going through the same thing. But you're not stuck in an office. You get to dress up a little bit, take some photos, add to your social media content folder of backup photos to use that are different than your day-to-day. Have a nice night out because you deserve it. Every single business owner that I know deserves it, to go to these at least a couple times a year, submit to a couple. I have a free webinar that actually talks about the whole process to kind of demystify it. But aside from that, in a nutshell, they're worth going to. If you can, and if you are thinking about it, do it. Do it. And make friends. The people at your table at the very least. But look around for those who don't have anyone to talk to and go talk to them. You're all in this together. Small business, supporting small business makes a difference. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Polished Business Podcast. Check out all our episodes for valuable information for the business boss in books. To apply to be a guest or stay connected, follow Polished Business on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to join the Polished Business platform for free support or one of our paid tiers. All the best in your business journey.